Hey, melinated family. I'm speaking as a father and as a black man now who's been through this system. It's a system that wasn't designed for us, and especially black men. We see that they're so vibrant as they're going through primary school, and they can be ahead, and they get to secondary school. And I know that we're all equal and we all have the same education in school, but we don't, because it's in the way that we're treated in schools. And that's where the first alienation starts. And when you have an alienation where you spend the majority of your day, and then you're coming from a single parent family, and mum, through no fault of her own, just doesn't have the time because you need to earn that money to keep the roof over your child's head. That young man finds himself with a certain amount of time on his hands. And we seek, because I'm telling you, I've been through this. I wasted probably 3 or 4 years on North Peckham Estate with friends, where 15 of us would go to all-dayers and parties, and then at some stage there will be a CS gas let off. At some stage there may be knife violence there. At some stage there will be running and confusion in house parties, which is a closer environment. So the point that I'm getting to is that we need to advocate for our young men, and we need to do it practically, we need to do it consistently, and it needs to be tangible. So if their fathers aren't in their lives, and I'm talking to fathers now, if you're not, you need to tighten that up and forget about pride. Because if somebody came to you and said one of two things, your child has been killed, it will crush you, you will be dead. Or your child has killed somebody, now you're not even going to get any sympathy. And everybody's going to look at you as the insect that produced them. So if you're not, forget about pride. Go take your baby, and whatever apologies you have to make, and however you have to make that up, make it up as a man. But for women who've tried it and they're not there, that means it's your role. And there's so many programs to engage young men. There's so many men and women that have worked hard in creating these programs that are consistent, that create that family environment. Because that's all we're seeking is family. We're a spiritual people. And when young men produce that family on the road, it's bestial. It's Lord of the Flies. If you read the book, you know what it entails. It's nothing spiritual, and it's nothing of a virtuous nature. So get in front of that, get ahead of it, because our young men are falling victim to that. And it's not about post-Cold Wars, because we had the same thing when I was young. North Peckham and an area right round the corner, Aylesbury, couldn't be together in certain all-dayers. And we were always going to be at those all-dayers. And then you would have to worry about Junction Boys or Untouchables in Stonebridge, or this one from there, or this one from there. So it's always existed. It's not a new phenomenon. It's something cute to criminalize our boys by the media that we have no saying, that when they're ready, we're a total news blackout. Like when tens of thousands of us marched with a petition to Parliament for reparations. So don't take that for granted, that there's a new mayor, and these people have been demonized for a number of years, and now you have a position to reframe the narrative. And the first thing that concerned me, the first operation, was Operation Knife Crime. And our faces were all over the front page of the Standard and the Metro. So be ahead of it with our young men especially. Women learn from their mothers. Young women are watching you in what you're doing. So it's no secret as to why young men get lost. Young men need to see grown men as models. I read Malcolm X when I was 17. That was all I needed. That man was my stepfather. Now, with the apps and all of these 6-second things, you go tell your child to read that book and sit down and finish it. It's hard work. So they need people in front of them that they can see that are tangible and practical men. You've got organizations like 100 Black Men. There are many organizations that you can search on the same social networks that we're engaging in all kind of foolishness. But they're your heart, and they should be our greatest investment. So invest in them and put practical and consistent programs in their lives that provide that family setting that they feel is lacking. And even if they're the most creative, do it anyway, because it's only going to add to their character.